Good afternoon. Today we are continuing on with our objective CO67. I can classify and draw regular, convex, and concave polygons. So first we need to know, what is a polygon? A polygon is a geometric figure made up of three or more lines. Oh, not lines, line segments. That intersect only at their endpoints. So an example of something that looks like a polygon could be something like this, right? So we have straight lines, and it's all connected. There's no open areas, there's no curves, and it doesn't intersect anywhere other than our segment endpoints is where they're connected. So a polygon is any shape that uses those line segments that are all connected. No curves, all connected, no intersecting. So something like this is not a polygon, but they're all straight lines. It's closed up. Why would that not be a polygon? Ruby? Yeah, they're intersecting in the middle, not just the endpoints, but this intersects in the middle. Why would that not be a polygon? Alan?
There's a curved line.
It's a curved line, right? So it's not an actual line. It's not a line segment. Line segments have to be straight. What about this? They're not intersecting anywhere other than their endpoints. There's no curves. Why is that not a polygon? Eleanor? It's not all closed up. So we've got two endpoints that are open. So not a polygon. So now we want to know names of our polygons based on how many sides they have. So if our polygon has 3 sides, what do we call it? Kamala? Triangle. If it has 4 sides, what do we call it? Ruby? Nope. Because this is not a square. So what do we call it if any shape with 4 sides? A quadrilateral. Quad means 4. Lateral means side. So quadrilateral. So tri means 3. Quad means 4. What do you think a 5-sided figure is called? David?
Pentagon?
Pentagon. Penta means 5. What about a 6-sided figure? Amala? Hexagon. What about a 7-sided figure? Fallon?
Septagon?
So there are 2 different names we could give to our 7-sided figure. One is Greek, one is Latin. One is septagon and one is heptagon. So it's got that P in there. Septagon, heptagon. They both mean 7. For Mr. Schultz, he always goes with the heptagon, but it's good for you to know that septagon is also 7. What about an 8-sided figure? Our stop signs. Octagon. What about 9-sided figure? Any guesses? David?
Nonagon?
It is a nonagon. What about 10-sided? Fallon? Decagon. Now, in our homework that we're going to be doing, the only in the table goes up to 10, but in the homework, there will be a 12-sided figure. So we need to know that. So I like to say, well, we don't want to just jump from 10 to 12. So an 11-sided figure is a decagon. And the 12-sided figure is a dodecagon. Dodecagon. So we've got a decagon and a dodecagon. So when we take our test next week, because we are testing next week, when we take that, you are going to want this table on your help sheet. Okay? Sometimes we'll go, oh, I can remember these, but then we forget because it's a test and we've got so much going on in our brain. Just put the table on your help sheet so you know the sides with the correct name that goes with that. So a 7-sided figure is the heptagon. The 9-sided figure is the nonagon. Just make sure you put that on your help sheet. Eleanor.
Never mind.
All right, so let's do some more
Please
definitions.
excuse interruption. With band members, go to the atrium with your instrument. Orchestra members, please go to Beacon Hall with your instrument. Thank you.
All right, a regular polygon is a polygon with all sides equal in length and all angles equal in measure. So congruent sides are marked with the notches through each side, and congruent angles are marked with arcs in each angle. So somebody had mentioned the 4-sided shape being a square. A square would be a regular quadrilateral because all of our sides are equal. And if we think about that equilateral triangle that we looked at, all of our angles are equal. So you can show it by the notches or the angle marks. You can show it by the measurements all being the same. Okay. So if it's an equilateral triangle, it's an equiangular triangle, all the angles are equal, and we can show that by our numbers, the measurement numbers, or those arcs being the same. Now we have a concave polygon. Concave polygons will always have at least one reflex or interior angle interior angle measure between 180 degrees and 360 degrees. I like to call it a caved in side. So your side looks like it is caved in. An example of this, if we look at this pentagon, we can see this interior angle is bigger than 180 degrees. Okay, so it's got an interior angle that is big. We can see that this side is caved in. Okay, so concave means it has a side caved in. Let me scroll up. Then we have a convex polygon. Interior angles are less than 180 degrees. So that would be a pentagon that looks like that. All of the inside angles are smaller than that 180 degrees. No cave-ins. So for this, we have no cave-ins. And for the concave, we do have at least one cave-in. Any questions on those? Okay. Let's look at our homework page. It says to classify each polygon as regular, convex, or concave, and then by its number of sides. So there are two things we have to write. We have to say, is it regular? Does it actually show us the notches and the angle marks that they are congruent? Is it convex, no cave-ins, or is it concave with cave-ins? Then we have to say, ooh, I have to count the number of sides and say what its name is. So let's look at our first one. Regular, convex, or concave? Christina. Say it louder for me. How do you know it's convex? We know it's convex because there's no cave-ins, and it can't be regular because there's no measurements on it. No notches, no numbers showing that all the sides are equal. What name would I give this? A convex what? Fallon.
Pentagon.
How do you know it's a pentagon?
There's 5 sides.
There are 5 sides. So you need to have both parts to our name. Spoiler, this lovely friend that comes next is going to have 3 parts that you need to name. See if you can find all 3 parts. Down here, it says draw an example of the polygon. If it is a regular one, you need to show those notches, you need to show measurements proving that they are congruent. If it is concave, you need to make sure there's a cave in, right? So your shape might look different than my shape, but they're gonna have the same number of sides. They're going to have certain things that are the same. Pay attention to your sides. And then write whether each statement is true or false. If it is false, draw or write a counter example. So a triangle is always convex. Can you give me a concave triangle? Or is a triangle always going to be convex? So it's either true or false. If it's false, give an example proving that it's false. A quadrilateral cannot be regular. Can you give an example of a regular quadrilateral? Yeah. So do it. You know, you write false and you give an example of a regular quadrilateral. And then we have our review at the bottom. If you are listening at home, I hope you are well. And I hope I get to see you soon. If you were at the band concert, I'm hoping you did a spectacular job. Have a wonderful day.